that almost worked. Wow. Welcome to the Nostalgia Train. Here's my lovely co-hosts. That was almost seamless, even though it's the wrong video. I kind of like the randomness about it. It's just us, so it's just for the funsies.
Yeah.
For the meme of it all. Welcome to the book club, friends. Somehow this train is still struggling along the tracks, even though I am I don't know, not doing the best job at running this here, but Mars, you've been a big help.
Listen, I feel like I have not been involved in months, so you saying that I've been a big help is thank you. I try.
You set up the Discord channels, which was a big help.
I have a little bit of power. I have to use it.
I feel that I was not involved with the scheduling of today at all or anything. And I'm like, do they think I'm even still there? And then you specifically tagged me and you're like, hey, are we good setting it? And I was like, I am still there.
We had mentioned that you were going to read it, so I thought
yeah. Oh no, I appreciate it. I just like being involved.
Also, I forgot to look up one thing about the book. Hold on. Yes, what were you saying?
Oh no, I'll wait until we do our experience with the book. So, guys, this was not a first time read for me, as we all know is quite rare.
Very interesting.
I'm sharing us another in servers. So,
then we can just go ahead and do that. Then our experience with the book. I think I vaguely had heard of this book. It was published in 2013. That's what I had to just check. But when it got adapted, the TV series, that's when I heard about it. So I definitely watched, I think, the first episode with my mom on Netflix. But I didn't watch the whole season. I just watched the first episode. And I may have fallen asleep.
That's fair.
But actually, when I started reading, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually remember this. So I don't, I'm not sure what I had seen, but some of it was ringing a bell. So of seeing the beginning of the TV series.
I want to say at least the beginning of the TV series is a pretty good adaptation. So that could be why.
Yeah, so that's all I had with Lockwood & Co. Just a vague awareness of it. And then heard about it when Netflix adapted it.
I read it before. I believe it was for a year of favorites last year. I think it was one of Lynn's favorites, and I liked it. And my oldest at the time was starting to get they were all my kids were reading a lot, but they were finally starting to develop their own reading taste and preferences and stuff, and not just reading everything that we were all reading. And my oldest was really leaning towards spooky paranormal horror mystery things. And so I was like, oh, this would be perfect for you. I'm like, you would really enjoy this one, especially since he and I had started watching Supernatural. And I'm like, this is a kind of a kid's version of that. And so he read book 1. He's actually read the whole series now. I think I've only read book 1 and 2. But yeah, so this was a reread for me. And he and I also we started watching the TV series. I don't remember how far we got though. But I think we definitely got through the Whispering Skull plot line in the TV series. But I could be misremembering because it was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my experience with book. And then I of course reread it between last night and this morning. So
I love how you always get your reads in right before, so that it's got fresh in your head.
That's the goal. I always pre-plan it. That's why I'm always like, what day are we streaming? Because the night before is my reading night.
Yeah, but that works for how chaotic the book club is. People who need a whole month to read a book, that I'm so bad at posting what the book is. I've then already lost a bunch of potential readers.
It's all right.
Yeah, this was my first time reading this. I had not heard about it until the TV series, but I never watched the TV series because I don't have Netflix. But I do
Fair
have
enough.
a physical copy of book one because it was at a library
Oh.
book sale, I think last fall. So I got this for like $1, and it's like great condition too.
$1? I'm jealous.
Yeah.
So I got to read it physically, which we know is my favorite way to read books. So I'm very happy
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, I had no idea it existed, but I'm glad I read it.
I'm gonna pop up the spoiler banner. I have to say, I was so pleasantly surprised by this book. I have to say, I was a little bit dragging my feet to pick it up because I thought I wasn't gonna like it.
Fair enough.
Because I felt like it was a detective-y book, and I'm like, oh, I don't like detective-y books. And I'm like, I feel like this is like really younger YA. Like it's gonna be like
I mean, it's
I don't know. I just thought I wasn't gonna like it. And I
Is
was
it-
so pleasantly surprised by, I don't know, the writing and the plot and the storytelling and just the general vibes.
is it YA or is it MG?
I thought
It is YA. I looked it up because I was like not sure myself. I was like, is this
Oh,
like
okay.
upper middle grade, lower YA? What is this?
going into it, I was like, this is middle grade, isn't it? And then I started reading, I'm like, this is like a bit older than I expected.
Yeah.
I don't know. I read
It was
some middle
older than I
grades, man.
expected.
I think I read it around the same time I read his Dark Materials the first time. So if his Dark Materials is MG, I was like, Lockwood and Co. definitely MG. But no, you're right. The protagonists are a bit older for MG. So I don't know why I'm saying MG instead of middle grade.
I said DNF to my mom the other day, and she's like, "What?"
What did you say to me, Violet?
She's like, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry. I just thought that's like a term people know. I guess not."
I recently at Books a Million there is this TBR like pad that's about this big, and it's just like a bunch of book spines, and then you write like the books you want to read on those book spines. And I was like, oh, this would be really cute to do with the kids, and I did it, and I showed it to them, and every single one of them was like, what does TBR mean? And I'm like, I failed you. Somewhere along.
Because we're just so used to the lingo.
Yeah. As with any hobbyist who speaks to people outside their hobby.
Yeah. I mean, I think plot and pacing is always the best place to start. I kind of gave a little bit my first impression that I was surprised that I was quite enjoying the book when I picked it up.
I originally think I listened to it probably at around times 2 because that was the like natural for me that sounds like good speaking. Because I had woken up so late due to migraine today, I finished the book at times 3, so my perspective on the plot and pacing may be a little skewed. But I felt the plot and pacing was really well done. And upon the reread, I paid more attention to Lockwood in the background. Because, like, I figured out the twist the first time around because of my years and years of reading mystery novels, and I was like, yeah, no, this would make sense. But like, I wanted to see with the second read if there were enough cookie crumbs that like I felt a kid could figure it out and not just me. And I was like, yeah, no, if like a kid is really paying attention to Lockwood and stuff, it's quite obvious what Lockwood is doing and what he's looking for and everything. So I thought like the plot kept the two cases moving at a really good pace and kept the cookie crumbs for both cases pretty like balanced and even. So I really appreciated that because it's pretty well known that I am a romance and horror buff. What is lesser known is that I am also a mystery buff. Literally just started binging Murder, She Wrote, which was a show I used to watch with my grandma, and I've discovered is on Tubi. And I was like, fuck yes, I'm watching this whole thing. So, and I am my bar for mysteries is very simple. I have to be able to figure it out And it can't just be about telling me how amazing the detective is at detectiving, which are two of my biggest issues with so many fucking Sherlock Holmes adaptations. but I think Lockwood and Co. is like it's such a good mystery detective formula that it's got going on there.
Yeah, like I said, I normally really don't like a detective book, so that kind of turned me off, but it didn't. I don't know, maybe it's because of the supernatural elements, or maybe because also Lucy was our POV character and not Lockwood.
Yeah.
And I think that added a level of intrigue to the storytelling that gripped me in.
Funny enough, a lot of the better done mystery novels are from the not super detective perspective.
I really enjoyed this, like a lot of what Sam you were saying, like the actual mystery element and the way it was laid out. But I didn't actually enjoy the setup of the pacing, if that makes sense. I didn't like the back and forth in the timelines. I felt like that was not my favorite because I find
like the flashback.
Yeah,
I liked that. Okay.
I like books with multiple timelines, but this felt like it was doing it in a way that kind of leaned towards info dumpy to my taste.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Get that we got information that was useful to the present timeline, but every time we had like a flashback moment, I kind of found myself stepping away from it and being like, I just wish we could get back to the mystery at hand.
Yeah, I would even go so far as to say I don't think there's two timelines so much as I just think there's a series of flashbacks.
Yeah.
So, which I think would make that makes it a really big difference because when there's two timelines, there is a story being told in the past and the present. We're not really being told a story in the past so much as, like you said, it's info dumpy being delivered relevant information to the present plot line. I don't mind it so much. I really info dump via flashback is one of my preferred methods of info dumping if you're going to info dump me.
That's where we differ.
Yeah, I was but I can we are aligned with what the flashbacks were essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So.
For me, since I found the flashbacks interesting and engaging, so it didn't bother me that it was pulling out of the main plot or it was info dumping, just because I found the info fun. I don't know. I enjoyed it, so
I think.
Hi, Nina.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I just don't think those parts of the story were as interesting as the main mystery to me. So I just we were more in the main mystery than the flashbacks.
That's where it comes down to, preferences differ and everything. Like your mileage may vary thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just added, I don't know, a different texture to the book, that it wasn't just a straightforward. Yeah, I don't know. It made my reading experience more enjoyable. But I remember one other book we read had flashbacks. I felt like that I didn't like that you liked, Mars. What book was it?
I have no idea.
Let's look at the list of books. We have. All right.
Anyways, yeah. So I liked the pacing and the plot. I actually didn't figure out the mystery because I read the book so segmented, a little bit here, a little bit there, that I was never on a solid thought process. And then I came up with a different theory of what was going to happen that ended up being completely wrong, left field.
What was your theory?
About the caretaker. I thought that he was going to be he just seemed something nefarious about him.
I feel like that was an intentional red herring because I also got those vibes.
I was like, okay, there's going to be something with the caregiver, but I wasn't sure, or caretaker, but I wasn't sure what it was going to be. And I was trying to pay attention to the different mysteries that he kept saying. And I was like, oh, okay. So I would come up with a couple ideas. Oh, it could be this, it could be that. And I was like, no, that had nothing to really do with it. So, okay.
See, I never really try to like actively solve mysteries in mystery books. Like if I can figure it out along the way, that's cool, but I'm never like sitting there thinking like, okay, these things connect here and these things connect here. I'm kind of just along for the ride.
It is not an active process in my head. I don't think I could turn it off if I tried. I mean, I have tried before. The only way I can read something without my brain engaging in an analytical way is if I am deep in a migraine brain fog. And that is just because I can't think in general. But yeah, it's just the way my brain works. It's just very analytically minded, and I've embraced it. And so that's where I get a lot of my fun out of it. If I can't figure it out, usually I give props to the writer for being able to thwart my brain. So I always like to, like, my friends and I used to tease, I'm like, yes, I am Samlock Holmes coming in. So.
What should I do? Prose and writing style? Does anybody have thoughts?
It's been so long since I read the book, I don't remember the writing style aside from like the info dumpiness of certain scenes.
It's done in oh shit, I just read what it was third person, right? Yes.
First person.
Okay, it's first person. I'm like, I literally just listened to this before the stream. It's done in first person, and I really enjoy a well executed first person, and I think this is that, where a lot of like we get everything from Lucy's biased perspective, but she makes enough background observations that while she herself dismisses them, the reader can pick up on other things, or on things that like Lucy isn't getting, or kind of figures out where Lucy misassumes some things, like with the photo. So because like Lucy shows the photo and she's like, oh, well, it's a group. And like the mugshot didn't get a reaction, but this group photo did. And then Lockwood like picks it up and he looks at it and he gets excited. And you're like, okay, so maybe there's something else or someone else in the photo that the ghost could have reacted to. Whereas Lucy's still like, it's that guy, it's the suspect and everything. And so I like when when the unreliable narrator is like that. And it's like they're not unreliable because they're lying or trying to fool us or anything. They're just human.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was very well done that, like, from Lucy's age. Like, she feels like a teenager.
Yes, very much so. She feels like a teenager hanging out with two teenagers. I like how she describes George a lot of the time, and I'm like, I'm not 100% certain what the impression I'm supposed to get of George is. But I feel like George is a little bit of like, I'm trying to figure out how to, fuckboy aesthetic, essentially, because it's like he wears a shirt that like shows off his chest, and then like when they're all leaving and stuff, and he's got pants that like show off his butt, and I'm all like, George, sir. Like, Lucy's very clearly not attracted to this boy. She is so put off by him. But I'm like, I feel like while he acts completely opposite, this boy is dapper.
Yeah, he would definitely. I can see that he probably is going to get more page time as the series continues. Yeah, I think as far as like the prose and writing style, like having Lucy as the POV was like such a solid choice. Like you both said, that she reads really teenage, and that really took me by surprise, because like I really did think this was going to be more middle grade. So I was like, oh, okay. Like some things, you see like that it's, when I like look it up online, that it's marked YA, and then you read it and you're like, but I was like, oh, okay. It is reading YA.
Is Lucy the POV character, like the sole POV character for the whole series? Do we know that?
I think she is the POV character for at least book 1 and 2. So that would be my assumption, is that she is our series POV character.
I know sometimes books with like ensemble cast, and I know more characters get added to the trio as we go along. So like sometimes more POVs are added, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm sure I only read book 1 and 2.
I have to check if my library has the rest of them because I would continue. I want to talk. I put ghost tropes, but I do kind of just want to talk generally about like the world building, the magic, the paranormal elements, because I think that was what was most intriguing to me is how it was like set up that it's like it seems like corny, like only the kids can see the ghosts, but in execution, it was really, I think, intriguing and well done. I don't know.
I feel like that pulls from real world perceptions that children and animals specifically are more sensitive to the supernatural and stuff. Like there's a whole thing that when we're kids, we can actually see ghosts, but then as we age, we stop being able to because we like mentally close ourselves off to it. And that's why like that's one of the reasons that children can be really creepy sometimes is because they just sort of like stare at something and then they like make weird comments about there being a person there. Like there's no shortage of stories and stuff where like parents or friends of family are like, yeah, I was talking to them and then they said they were talking to so and so who's been dead for like 15 years and they have no way that they would know this family member. So I thought it was just sort of like building off of that. And I was very intrigued by their execution of it. I thought it was really well done. That like essentially by 20, they have to retire from like active duty and are essentially mentors because their experience is still valuable, but they can't actually fight the supernatural anymore.
I really like how they all kind of have their own specialties. Like Lucy's really good at hearing the ghosts, but she can't really see them as well as Lockwood. I thought that was a really fun like addition.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved that as well. It was just cool, and I think the way we got introduced to the world, like as the story went on, you learned a little bit more about the different aspects of how everything works, and I really liked it.
I also want to know more about this event. I don't remember what they called it. It was like a capital letter word where like all of the sudden these ghosts are like everywhere.
The problem?
Yeah, the problem. I'm so excited to learn more about that, hopefully. Because I'm like, I want to know more about like this world that we're in, because the fact that like everyone just knows ghosts exist, like that's pretty cool and not super common.
It's super cool. Yeah, it's cool that it's not a secret. I was like, oh, that's really fun. Because I kept thinking of like the Diviners had also like, this ghost supernatural vibe. And I was like, I don't know, in a way, I don't know, it's just interesting to see different takes on sort of this paranormal.
When the preternatural is part of the everyday.
Yes. And I liked some of the choices that were made. Even though some of it seemed super obvious, it was just fun. I don't know. And like the kids run agency. Again, that's why maybe I thought it was going to be more middle grade, because it's like the only children's run agency. And you're like, oh, okay, this is like a kid's book.
Lockwood was going to be a teenager. I fully thought he was going to be like an adult man. And then I was reading it and they're like, oh, he's only like 18. And I was like, what?
Yeah, so that's what I kept thinking the whole time, was like, oh my gosh, there's how many books in this series? So is it going to be about like also like losing their powers as they go on? I was like, this is so interesting.
Lockwood's 2 years away from retirement. Like,
yeah, I was like, this is interesting. This is cool. And also that they have like all those artifacts like in their agency, in their house. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, this is cool. And about how the ghosts are tied to a source, and that's how they can free them, release them. I don't know.
Exercise?
The 13 ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So I thought that was a cool thing, because to make it tangible, like, okay, we're fighting a ghost, we're unraveling a mystery, but it's a very like find the source, a very regimented thing in a way.
I like how throughout the whole book, at every chance she got, Lucy did the very obviously not safe but useful thing until the end of the book when the ghost is talking to her. And then she's like, not today. I would just...
She's like, I do not have the mental wherewithal to deal with this right now.
She's like, nope, we're done. And like, so I love that she like fulfills that trope all the way until the end, and then she subverts it. She's like, I'm not dealing with this right now.
Yeah. Growth. I'm trying to think like I don't know, paranormal and trope specifically, if there's anything interesting.
I like the way that they have created the anti-ghost measurements, and a lot of the ways that they use to detect ghosts are very like ghost hunter-esque in that it's both, they're both really common. Still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, my mom called and I'm on my phone, so I must text her that I will call her after the stream.
I really like that they use swords against the
I know, I was just gonna say that. It's so cool.
The iron rapier? Yes.
Yeah, the first time they're like, I'm grabbing a rapier, I was like, what? That is so badass.
I mean, so the things and stuff that they use are both stuff that is very common in paranormal fiction as like ways to fight ghosts. Also, things that like we believe there is a scientific thing for it, like the iron and the salt and the phosphorus and the temperature thing. So I was like, they did their research.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. They kind of had all those sort of common, I don't want to say myth, but real world things people associate with, ghost hunting and paranormal activity. So it was just fun. Do you guys anything else to say on this topic? Otherwise, I'm going to the next one.
No, I don't think so.
Everybody knows this is my favorite one.
None. So whatsoever. No. My brain just blanked.
Theme, symbols, and motifs.
It's been a minute. This is one of the first books that I read in October, so I'm like grasping at memories of what happened.
Okay, well, like if we're talking about like a straight up symbol from the book, I would start with Annie Ward's locket from the very beginning. Right when Lucy takes it, it's like, oh girl, that's bad news. Like
we know that's coming back around.
Yeah, it's like, oof, yeah.
I feel like The Screaming Staircase is a sick title, I will say that. But I feel like the staircase isn't the main focus of the book. I feel like
it's not
more central to the book than the staircase was. We don't even know the staircase exists till like more than halfway through.
Yeah, it comes in so late in the story.
It's such a small part of the story too, and then it's so done. The naming it after the locket would have been better, but sometimes it's just like publishers just go with whatever they think is gonna get the most attention grabby.
Hold on, what are the rest of the titles? The Whispering Skull, The Hollow Boy, The Creeping Shadow, The Empty Grave. Okay, interesting.
And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. The Whispering Skull is only slightly more important in book 2.
Well, the reason I went to check is I thought maybe they took Screaming Staircase because of the alliteration, but no, that's the only one with alliteration. So
It just sounded flashy, I guess.
that it does.
The Lockwood and Co. is the important part.
Yeah.
I think one of the ongoing themes is like regret, guilt.
Yeah.
Sorry, my child just told me.
Guilt. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Because there's sort of this feeling of like, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but it does sort of seem like Lockwood and Co. as an agency and Lucy herself as a character is just sort of going through the motions to be legit without feeling like they are. Mm-hmm. Like they definitely have an underdog vibe to them.
Oh, 100%. I think this is a story built more for entertainment than for deep meaning and messaging. But there is definitely this ongoing thing of like Lucy regrets not following, I guess trusting in yourself too. So it's like Lucy regrets following or not following her intuition. And then she does follow her instinct, which as a teenager, you know, her brain is not fully developed. So sometimes it does tell, you know, teenagers' brains do tell them, oh, the really bad decision is the absolute best decision, right? So that I think it tracks that sometimes her intuition is on point and then other times her intuition is questionable. But I also found family very, very heavily a thing because their missions keep going to hell and back until all three of them are working together. And then that's when they're like the strongest, and that's when they're succeeding and doing their best and stuff, and they've got each other's back. So
yeah, there's also this sort of I don't know even how to phrase it. When like everybody's so scared about like the problem and the ghost, and there's these moments of them like walking into danger like so nonchalantly. And there was a few sort of parallel moments like that I don't know, it gave this kind of like confidence that the characters had in their own abilities, even if on the outside they really felt kind of ragtag and whatever, but they kind of, yeah, like Lucy herself, she definitely was confident in her abilities with ghosts. She just wasn't confident with her recognition from the outside world, I would say. The validation.
There's also an exploitation thing going through, especially like her mom was just waiting for a kid who could go fight ghosts so that they had it good. And it, while wildly disconnected, reminds me of the discussion around like family vloggers who make money off of their kids and stuff. So I'm like, there is absolutely no reason this book would be making that connection, but child exploitation is where my mind went. So
yeah, there's definitely, in a story where children have an ability that adults have, there's definitely a conversation surrounding like what kind of responsibility a child would have because of those powers. And it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, especially since like you're sending a bunch of teenagers in, and like I said earlier, it's nothing against teenagers. It's just physiologically their brains are like, it's not just that they're not fully developed. It's also because of like all the hormone surges and the chemicals like changing and stuff. You know, puberty is a bitch, and they are biologically predisposed to make rash decisions and not fully like understand the gravity of their consequences and stuff. And so like, while it's like, yeah, Lockwood and Co, they should be able to like be their own company and, you know, make their own decisions and stuff. It's like, but in a real world situation, there's no guarantee this would actually go, you know, as fluidly. And so adult, even if we're not saying adult supervision, still having an adult advisor or an adult mentor would be a good thing. But because it is a YA, none of the adults are particularly reliable.
No.
But like, I do wish they had even just like one Merlin-esque figure, you know, just at the library who is able to advise and help them out and stuff. And
I don't know. I liked that it was just them. And even how you said like how teenagers, like they everything about them, it's so supercharged. That's like exactly why I love YA. That's why I like reading it, why I like writing it. And people are like, oh, you just like write YA because it's easier. You read it because you're still childish. It's like, no, it's just teenagers. They can do shit in stories and narrative that adult characters would look stupid doing. Like if an adult character would do it, you would judge them. If a teen could do it, you're like, yeah, that sounds like something a 17-year-old would do. Mm-hmm. Like,
well, like that's why I want them to have like a Merlin-esque mentor that's not actually part of the agency, but just somebody that they can go to. But I wouldn't want that character like on scene and stuff because, like you said, I also enjoy YA for all of those like reasons and stuff. Because I have a friend, we used to read some YA together, and they'd get so mad at the teenagers, and I'm like, they're just being teenagers. Like, they're not adults.
I think what I'm really intrigued is I'm actually super like interested in the rest of the series. And I'm wondering if I do end up reading the rest of the books, what my thoughts will be of this book. Because I don't know if it's setting up the series in a good point or if it's laying even Easter eggs or clues for things that are happening in the overarching story. I find that always super interesting in a long series. I was thinking about that today with Series of Unfortunate Events. Like, we read that first book for book club and I didn't really like it. And then I ended up loving the rest of the series. And, you know, kind of drawing all these things back. And I was like, oh, I wonder how this is going to play out. Because I think there's, 5 books?
Yeah, there's 5. I feel like Lucy is being set up as not a chosen one specifically, but like they keep making reference to that one person who could talk to ghosts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And her empathetic ability is just so strong already. And then Lockwood's like, did the ghost make you do that? And she's like, no, but I knew it wanted me to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that like evolve essentially and to see where that goes. Cause that's another like way where they follow a trope, but they are also subverting it at the same time. Because like the POV character being the chosen one-esque thing is not a subversion, but it not being the super detective is a subversion. So I can't wait for that. Also, I just want to say I think George may be my favorite character, and I don't understand why.
No one understands why.
I don't know. I don't think I dislike any of the characters. I think they're all very well crafted, and I'm excited to see how they develop as like characters on their own and also as a trio.
I love them all, and like typically I would assume like that Lockwood or Lucy would be my favorite because of the type of characters they are, but something about George has got me. I don't know what it is.
Well, do you think that's another thing I was wondering? Do you think other agents are going to be brought into the agency, especially if these characters are going to start aging out towards the end of the series? That's like something I also was like, oh, are they going to get like somebody who has this expertise, or is like there's so many like avenues for plot points with this setup that it's.
I know that at least one person joins in, I think, book 4, because I remember reading the series sometime in the past few years, and I remember when she did her wrap-up, she was like, I like the addition of this character, but I don't like what it did to the other characters, and that's all I remember about it. I don't remember like who this character was or anything, but I know something happens in book 4 that Jess did not like.
Ooh, interesting. So I love that when you get like one like little peek into like a series or something, and then you have no context. I had that with Game of Thrones. I saw like a random scene from like the 3rd season before like I knew anything about it, and then to catch up to that, I was like, oh, okay, I knew this one thing out of context for years.
I don't, because my brain won't let go of it, and then it spoils things for me later. So I'm like, no, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, that's about all I have to say on Lockwood & Co. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts?
No, I think we're all pretty much on the same page that it was good and we're going to continue on.
Yeah, I have to say, I was like really surprised by this. Like, I really like thought I was not going to like it. I thought it was going to be like Lockwood, the main character, some like snot-nosed detective wonder kid. And that was not at all what the
What he reminded me of is an 80s crime show detective, which I think is probably my favorite era of crime show detectives, which is when they were more like charismatic and charming than like gruff and all of that. But I enjoyed this book so much that like my library hold said it was going to take so long, and I'm like, you know what? And I just went on my Libro account and bought it. I was just like, I'm gonna just own it, slowly get the whole series. So
yeah, I wouldn't say that this is like a main priority series for me to continue, because I'm in the middle of like more than 60 series, so I do have to do some prioritizing. But it is still one that I'm hoping to get to sooner rather than later.
Oh my gosh, this is the same author who did the Amulet of Smaracon or whatever that book is.
Yeah,
interesting.
Bartholomeus.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I did not know that.
That is a thing on the cover, apparently. Because like I was looking at the audiobook cover and it says the author of Bartimaeus. And I'm like, oh, I forgot he wrote that. Which is funny because to me, I read Lockwood & Co. first, and then I read The Amulet. So to me, I was like, oh, this is the author of Lockwood & Co.
No. Interesting. Yeah, okay. My library does have the whole series, so I will be able to continue. Awesome.
Nice.
So.
My boyfriend just came in and said how much longer because he wants to get his bike out of the office.
Oh, well, perfect timing. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and I will figure out how to do this outro.
You gonna make announcements for the...
Oh, yeah, announcements. Thank you. It's November, so this is actually October pick. We will probably tentatively be doing A Court of Thorns and Roses rehash this month, and then in December doing Six of Crows, if anybody's on board for it.
I can't. I still have to read I've only read the first book in the original trilogy for Grisha. I can't get to Six of Crows yet.
Let's see. I also only read the first one for Grisha, but I knew I wasn't going to finish that series. So,
girl, if you saw the state of my TBR, like, you would understand that it's most likely not happening.
Okay, but I've said this before. There's like few people who like read as much as me, and like I don't even read that much anymore. But like, Mars, you're one of the people who I know can like dominate a big pile of books in a short period of time.
I don't know. I've been working so much lately. I'm at the store like 40 hours a week, I have much less time to read than I used to.
Same.
My-
I'm like momming and having no time.
My reading, my ability to tear through a TBR drastically differs if I have the audiobooks available versus the physical book. Physical
Depends on the
books, I
book.
could take like a month to get through. Audiobooks, I eat those bitches up.
I can like ebooks if it's like Ruby Dixon or like something easy reading, but like big fantasy books, yeah, don't catch me doing those physical. I won't get very far. Okay, hold on. Yes. So what did I say? Yeah, tentatively 6 of Crows for December, but I don't know if then the live show would be in December or if we push it to January because of holidays, how we would do it. Oh, and then I need to make a list for the next year. I mean, everything's sort of getting down to crunch time at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to find that sheet that has all the books and figure out what we're doing next year. So yeah, okay, bye friends. How do I do this?
Well back from the platform edge. The next train is platform 5.